Beep, 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 beep. Good morning, Jester. All that's new. Usual stuff. Right, what have I got for you today? Well, before I do that, subscribe. I've hit 4,000 subscribers, and thank you so much, everyone. It's such good news. I was very excited. I stayed up last night just to watch it happen. And it did. We're now at 4,002. So thank you very much to those of you that subscribed. If you haven't, please do already. Do hit the thing. Subscribe. The link for the stories, as usual, is in the doobries. Down below, you can click and get the information. Buy me a coffee if you can, usual stuff. And if you're in New Zealand or Australia, we're looking for people to start the Warrior Teacher Programme. So do have a look at the pinned tweet on my Twitter timeline. If you're willing to and want to, come and join us in the New Zealand and Australian crew winning mindset course. So Warrior Teachers, yes. Right, other than that, subscribe. Buy me a coffee, usual stuff. Oh, just a bacon and eggs, a bit of digestion there. Right, there are times, it says, when there is a confluence of events that is just entertaining and amusing. This is one of such times, right? So we've got an article today from the Daily Fail, right? So first, let's give you a bit of background to this, right? Okay. The gays, bless them, love Eurovision. I have no idea why, right? But they do, okay? They do, right? Okay. They have parties and, wear shirts and they've treated like gay Christmas to a certain degree. It's all, banners and posters and people screaming at the television set. They can bugger off in my book, but that's just me, so the gays like it. Right, so this is going to put a few flies in the ointment, I think. So we'll try and do some flies in the ointment for the gays today in an article that comes from the Daily Fail entitled, BBC bosses tell Corbynista Eurovision hopeful May Muller to stick to singing and keep keep quiet on politics after she aims transphobia jibe at J.K. Rowling. Transphobia. Miss Muller branded the Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling the transphobic one. Yeah, a bit of a lightweight, isn't she? May Muller lightweight. Right, so let's see what's been going on. BBC bosses have warned the UK's Eurovision Song Contest contestant May Muller to avoid courting political controversy in interviews and on her social media platforms ahead of next month's competition in Liverpool. Chiefs at the corporation have laid down guidelines on what they regard as acceptable subject matter for the singer, who has voiced left-wing views on Twitter. It's not just left-wing views, she's a totalitarian communist by the sound of it, but that's just me. You have a look, see what you think. Miss Muller, 25, I can see now is Muller Light. Miss Muller, 25, was embroiled in controversy earlier this month when it was revealed she had said former Prime Minister Boris Johnson did not deserve a hospital bed when he was seriously ill with COVID 3 years ago. Okay, she's just not very nice, is she? But we don't care. Is the song a banger? She said a few things, so what? Can't possibly get any worse, could it? And she risks being dragged into a new row after it emerged she branded Harry Potter author the transphobic one. Okay, that's two. 2 strikes. Muller Light, 2 strikes, all right? Responding to a photograph of Miss Rowling holding a badge saying, "Get your hands off my effing rights," she wrote, "Not the transphobic one talking about rights, quadruple I. Yeah, she's a nutter. She's a CSJ nutter. They do that. Yes, slay, rights. Not the transphobic one talking about rights. What is happening here? Miss Muller had earlier described the author, an outspoken campaigner for women's rights and critic of the trans movement, as annoying. Yes, she's an idiot as well, by the look of it, isn't it? So what are we getting so far? Nasty, totalitarian, idiot. Is it all those things? I don't know. What do you think? Have a look at the article. Music industry sources confirmed. Miss Muller, a former barmaid and shop worker from North London, had been spoken to. You! One said May has been told to cut out the politics and just sing. Yeah, not going to happen. She's a cultist, isn't she? Could be wrong. Both the BBC and her managers are acutely aware of the need for her not to become known for making controversial remarks rather than for making good music. Yeah, I think that horse is bolted, guys. As well as lambasting Miss Johnson, it just gets worse. It just gets worse. Miss Muller has also tweeted to support of former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn. There we go, full-blown communist, totalitarian, woman-hating, gay-hating, homophobic nonsense merchant. Is that what she is? I asked the question of myself. I don't know. What is it? In another post she wrote, I hate this country. Okay, right. I suggest, well, she lives in Liverpool, just stick her on a ferry, send her somewhere else. Muller, across the ferry. Go on, Muller, leave. I hate this country as she's offered an opinion on free school meals. Why do they pick these people to do anything, right? She is also angered by the openly anti-Semitic rants of the British grime artist Wiley. Miss Muller, born into a Jewish family, wrote, so F Wiley and F anyone who shares those views. Articulate woman, perhaps? Conservative MPs, including Deputy Chair Lee Anderson, were among those to question whether the BBC lacked common sense. You're questioning that now? They're all so nice to each other. By selecting an artist with outspoken political opinions as the UK's representative. Miss Muller will perform her chart hit I Wrote a Song at next month's competition. I wrote a song. It's just too funny. At next month's competition. In a bid to go one better than last year's runner-up, Sam Ryder. A spokesman for the BBC declined to comment, but sources at the broadcaster said that artists are made aware from the outset that Eurovision is a singing contest first and foremost. That's surreal, because you know as well as I do, Eurovision has always been a bit about giving the foreign, Johnny Foreigner a poke, hasn't it? Terry Wogan years ago. Now we've got that execrable Norton bloke doing it. Anyway, it's interesting, isn't it? So that's who we've got coming along, wants to represent Britain, which she hates. On Eurovision, which is a celebrated show by gays, more than anybody else, I imagine, who she thinks don't exist, right? Because she thinks J.K. Rowling is transphobic. She's a full-on CSJ nut job, right? So all the gays, are like, yay, it's Eurovision. It's like gay Christmas. Let's get the posters up. Come on, boys, come around in your best, glittery stuff and do things, and they'll all sit there going, oh, is it her, is it him? And they'll, sit there marking songs and doing all the usual twatcher stuff they do. They actually do organise party around this. I have a friend who does it. They organise party around it. So it's a great thing in the calendar for gay people. They really enjoy it. But now how are they going to enjoy it when they've got this rabid individual who's representing them, who has displayed a support for a ideology that is profoundly homophobic and that believes that it's okay to sterilise gay children? Right? Are you going to square that one, mates of mine? So I'm going to be interested to see what's going to happen after they've had their parties. And the receipts are in. Yeah, while they sit there celebrating Eurovision, thinking it's a good thing. Because it's not this year. Right? She's a blatant trans rights activist. Blatant. And she hates the UK. So she hates the UK. She thinks the gays don't exist. Right? Because she privileges people with, some kind of illness over gay people, and she's representing the UK. I think not. The BBC hasn't just lost its mind. It hasn't just got no common sense. It's pushing this agenda. It knows exactly what it's doing. I don't believe for a second it is. So it'll be interesting to see. Okay, gays, have a nice Eurovision, supporting somebody that doesn't even think you exist, in a country she can't stand, supporting a system that killed millions. Sure you're going to have a party? Well, do enjoy it. But I hope your punch tastes shit. Ta-ta!